Welcome to Let's Learn 2024 D&D, where I go over a different rule of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in 2024. This is for people looking for a quick rule refresher or looking to get into the game. Today, we're talking about travel, carrying capacity, and ammunition. Let's learn. Today is the kind of day where we cover some of the rules that exist in the game that I feel don't get much limelight. So starting with travel, the main three things I think are important to know regarding travel are marching order, marching pace, and mounted combat. Marching order is the order in which the party of characters are traveling. Is the fighter in the front or the ranger? Where's the wizard? Roads can be very wide or very narrow, and sometimes your marching order may have characters standing next to one another or in a straight line. In any case, it's understood the characters in the front or back of the march usually make perception skill checks to notice things, though the double edge to the sword of this is that they are often the first to walk into traps or be snuck up on in an ambush if they don't do a great job. The marching pace determines how far you will travel over the course of time. A fast pace covers about 30 miles in a day, a regular pace covers about 24 miles, and a slow pace covers about 18 miles. There are benefits and negatives of each. The slowest pace grants the characters advantage in perception checks for their travels. The regular pace gives them a disadvantage on stealth skill checks, and the fast pace has disadvantage on stealth and perception skill checks, so travel smart. The last category is mounted combat. So sometimes you get a horse or a giant raven that flies. Mounts can significantly increase your party's travel time. But what happens when a combat breaks out? Let's work through it. For starters, if you want to hop on your mount, it costs half your movement on your turn. So if you run up to your mount and have less than half of your movement speed remaining, you have to wait to hop on your mount until the next turn. Now, the mount assumes the same initiative as you when you are riding it. Other than its normal movement for the turn, it can only take 3 actions: dash, disengage, and dodge. Lastly, if something causes you to fall off your mount, you must succeed a DC 10 dexterity saving throw or fall prone. Now, I imagine this DC could be increased given what you fall off of if you're falling off your mount. So if you jump off a building and fall off your mount, it may be a higher DC in that case, and you might take a little bit of damage in that case. So next, let's talk about carrying capacity. This is often a rule that many playgroups tend to ignore until it would be a problem. It can be time consuming to calculate the exact weight of the item that your character has to determine what they can and cannot carry. But don't let me spoil your fun if you want to do that and enjoy that. I think carrying capacity is actually really important in making strength an even more valuable ability score. The size and strength of your character determines your character's carrying capacity. The rules break this down into 2 categories: carry and drag, lift, push. So for small and medium characters, the most common size category for player characters, the carry capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15. So if you have 10 strength, you can walk around carrying 150 pounds worth of stuff. The drag, lift, push capacity is the strength score multiplied by 30. I'll provide a picture showing the remainder of the creature size categories and how much they can carry. If your character is exceeding their carry capacity, they cannot move any more than 5 feet a turn. Lastly, let's talk about ammunition. Depending on the game you're playing, your dungeon master may want to track ammunition. Weapons like bows, slings, crossbows, blowguns, or even guns use ammunition as a resource. Whenever you utilize one of these weapons that has a form of ammunition, you expend one of its ammunition types. So if you want to fire your bow, you need arrows. A crossbow needs bolts, and so on. This ammunition is all listed and priced in the player's handbook under adventuring gear. An additional rule to consider is that other than bullets for guns, your character can spend 10 minutes to recover half the ammunition they used in combat, rounded down. The reason I put travel, carry capacity, and even ammunition all together and blanket statement that they are commonly overlooked is that some playgroups in D&D want to feel the immersion of the game, and while it can be considered immersive to track all of these things, it might also prove tedious and time-consuming at a table that might only get so long to play. In any case, every group is somewhat different. My group, for example, does track ammunition, but we use a different rule for carrying capacity that works for us. And our travel is a rule that we address if the group is planning on traveling for a great distance and is on a time crunch. So finding what works for your group that will be fun for everyone is important. And with that, thank you all for listening to the Let's Learn. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. If there's another topic you want to cover for the 2024 rules of Dungeons & Dragons or have a question about the topic just covered, leave a comment. The point of these are to be educational and informative to help introduce the game to people who may not have played before or want to get back into it. Thank you.